So apparently, Pat Robertson, and I've talked about this on the show before, but it's come up again because this has caused a terrible rift in the evangelical community. Pat Robertson, I mean, this is probably the only thing about him where he would disagree with his fellow evangelicals, but Pat Robertson actually believes in science and rejects what they call young earth creationism.
Science!
You know, because the creationists believe the earth is only a couple thousand years old, etc.
No, they don't believe it's a couple of thousand years old.
3,000
They believe it is 6,000 years
old.
old.
Oh, 6,000. I'm sorry,
born
yes.
on October 23rd.
Yes.
4004 BC, so said Bishop Usher. And if it was good enough for Bishop Usher, it's good enough for me.
I like Usher. He's got that song.
Good for the Hebrew children.
He's got that song, My Way. She likes it my way. I don't know if we're talking about the same guy.
For little David, it's good enough for me.
So Rick Wiles, who we've talked about on the show many times.
Is he a clairvoyant?
No, he's not a prophet. You're thinking of the firefighter prophet Mark Taylor. Rick Wiles.
You mean the guy from Manchester that led the illegal strike, but which wasn't a strike? That was a miracle.
No, not that guy.
Okay.
No, Rick Wiles is a televangelist in his own right. They call him an end times broadcaster. He apparently is very upset. He is a former co-worker of Pat Robertson, but is apparently very upset with Pat Robertson's.
How much money he still makes?
No, well,
and he wants a cut of that.
He probably is very jealous. Yes, but he's also very upset with Pat Robertson's embrace of. Because Pat Robertson does believe in evolution.
Science! You see, you silly Yeti, Pat Robertson says idea that universe is 6,000 years old is expletive deleted. Right here from the Christian Post.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
6,000.
Well, 6,000, yes. Yes.
Not 4.
Right, yes.
We actually have dated it.
Oh, well, good.
Yeah.
So it says here, earlier this week, televangelist Pat Robertson once again voiced his criticism of young earth creationism, the idea that God created the earth only 6,000 years ago, as told in the biblical account in Genesis, declaring that the idea is embarrassing nonsense. Wow. And
he's obviously senile.
Yes. We'll continue with this, but we do have a call. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Hey, this is EZG. I haven't had cable for about 7 years, but I listened to Pat Robertson in the past, and the guy is a total clown.
Oh, yes.
So EZG does not like him at all.
EZG, not a fan of Pat Robertson.
No.
Not
a fan at all.
How dare you?
You know, the good news is when you have a nice dinner before you go to an event like this, you don't make a pig of yourself. That's the secret.
Mike Doyle paid the $50
there'll be a lot of food there that I probably
shouldn't
eat. I mean, I might try a little bit, but
give me the
ticket.
If
you want to go to an event like tonight, you miss an event.
Give me
have
the
a
ticket.
nice meal before, that way you don't make a pig of yourself. So that's the tip of the day.
They'll throw me out.
Wow.
All right, I'll be listening. Bye-bye.
Jesus, buddy. Mike Doyle has spent $50 to get him a ticket so he can pig out. And, have all the booze he wants.
Right, yeah.
Mike, give me the ticket, and you can bitch about Trump all you want.
Why would he bitch about Trump? He loves Trump.
Well, bitch about him, me.
Oh, you mean...
Well, I consider what they... this isn't going to be any $50 ticket. What Mike Doyle and the... Well, what do I say? You're always calling my DAV hat a MAGA hat. The MAGA hat wearers, I consider what they do is bitching.
Oh, yes.
What else would you call it? It's
right.
not logical. But you're contending that this old fart,
Pat Robertson,
who has chosen so-called science over the revealed word of God, and you're taking his side, and
yes.
ECG too. Yet he's going to Billy Graham's sons.
Franklin Graham.
Save everybody's for eternity hour over at a ballpark.
Is that what it's called? The Save Everybody for Eternity hour?
Yeah.
That'd be a good name.
Technically, because everybody's got to get in, and they have to have the time to pass the pot around.
Well, I think it's worth 90 minutes of one's time to save eternity for everybody or save everybody for eternity or whatever. Is that not worth 90 minutes of your time?
EZG's attacking a false prophet who's chosen this so-called science over the revealed word of God, yet he's going to see the offspring of a biblical prophet who told us all that heaven is only 21 miles straight up.
Science! Oh, do we just have to get past the firmament to get to it?
I guess. I don't remember that part of my 5th grade school books.
According to Belinda Carlisle, heaven is a place on earth. This is all very confusing to me.
How come we never talk about that the moon landing was fake? We've talked about a lot of stuff.
I think the moon landing actually happened in heaven.
It had to go...
Yeah, never thought of that, did you?
I never thought of heaven as barren.
It is.
I never thought of it as like Swiss cheese, like a rotten old... What happens to a Swiss cheese after
heaven
many
is
years?
No. Heaven is full of cheddar.
Well,
extra sharp.
Well, Easy G, if Franklin Pierce gets you into heaven with that ticket...
Franklin Pierce?
The free ticket they gave out on Elm Street during a taco festival.
I was thinking of Franklin
You'll be
Graham.
in a heaven that's like a, because of the lack of gravity, it's like one of these bouncy rooms, that they have at children's parties.
So heaven is like a bounce house, is what you're saying.
Is it called a bounce house?
Yes.
These things were created after my childhood.
It's a giant bounce house.
Yeah, bouncing in my childhood is that somebody threw a rock to bounce off your head. Kind of Charlie Brownish.
That would be hell. Having rocks bounce off your head.
They didn't drug us back then. We took our lickings.
Ooh.
Speaking of which, have you read the post about the Honorable Joel Elber and his generous gift to Daddy Glenn's?
No, I haven't had a chance to. I'll read that at the top of the hour, and then in the second hour we can talk about this wonderful gift. So, End Times broadcaster Rick Wiles, he spent years working with Robertson at CBN, the Christian Broadcast Network, before launching his True News network. He was not happy with Robertson's remarks and blasted him as an apostate on last night's broadcast. Did you just belch on the air?
That was virtual, John.
Wow.
Jesus, buddy.
He's an apostate, Wiles said. Pat Robertson just denied actually, here, I'll play the audio.
Oh God, no!
Oh no!
I'd rather hear you.
Oh no! I must. We need to.
That guy's a freak.
We need to. I want to hear an evangelical calling Pat Robertson an apostate. This is just too good.
Pass the plate.
He cleared up that he's an apostate. That's what he cleared up. And when you say apostate, that's a strong word, Rick.
It sounds like
he just denied the first chapter of the Bible. I mean, let's be honest. Pat Robertson just denied the first chapter of the Holy Bible.
Just like the Catholic Church.
He doesn't believe Genesis 1.
You know what? By the way, there's more to this, but I'm enjoying his indignation. But
he sounds just like Pat, a younger.
He
version
does.
Of Pat
Well,
Robertson.
they all kind of because they all kind of talk the same.
He's making a pitch for them to send the money to him.
Yeah, it's a weird dynamic though. That like the progressive one in this is the 90-year-old man, the progressive thinker.
If you had been a human, what is it called, Homo sapiens rather than Homo erectus, we could have got that tax exemption for the church. But no, you couldn't lie, could you?
No, I really couldn't. You know what else? Well, big guy doesn't like that when you lie.
The big Yeti?
Yes, the big Yeti in the sky. He doesn't like that.
The abominable snowman?
Okay, we have the same God as you. How dare you? And he may not love us as much, but we have the same God.
Hairy chested.
By the way, isn't it supposed to be the other way around, though? Like, when you get to be Pat Robertson's age, aren't you supposed to kind of go along with whatever to try to get into heaven? Because let's be honest.
He's already in heaven.
Well, he's...
the great bouncy room, 21 miles straight up.
No, he's still here. That's how he's able to say things and do his show.
Are you sure? Have you ever met him?
Well, he could be a hologram.
We have John McCain hanging around, although he seems to have been exorcised.
That's a great point.
All I had to do was stay away for 3 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, he
gave me
John McCain.
Oh,
no, he's always...
What was that, Bob?
He's, oh, jeez, yeah, be careful with that.
I want to hear this, buddy.
No, the ghost of John McCain, he's still in purgatory, I think. Well,
stop belching, virtual John.
He doesn't believe it.
You're absolutely right.
I mean, what else do you say? The real embarrassment is Pat Robertson. He's the embarrassment. The only fossil in this story is Pat Robertson.
Wow.
A relic of the past.
See what he did there, Fossil? Because, you know, they think that folks like this think that Satan put fossils there to confuse us.
Did you hear what Pat said? You have to be deaf, dumb, and blind to believe it.
Oh, yeah. He's not only does he not agree with his fellow evangelicals on this one thing, he's really blunt about it, even.
Well,
it's incredible.
Why can't God have created the universe 14 billion years ago? It doesn't make it, you know.
Right. Well, that's the intelligent design theory, right? Which for some reason kind of went away. Like, intelligent design was a big thing for a while. Now you never even hear that term.
Well, it's been full, you know, it's, you know, if you go to Texas, it's probably in the school books.
It probably is.
It's kind of inoffensive in its way.
Right. It's a nice compromise.
Right, because, it's a compromise.
Yes.
God created the universe. And he is the universe.
Yes,
I believe that. But,
right.
You don't have to be specific that it was born October 23rd.
Right.
4004 BC.
Intelligent design is a very nice way of saying, yeah, we have this kind of figured out, but yeah, sure, God did it too. Yeah, okay. Whatever makes you happy. Yes. Whatever makes you feel better.
I wonder what Franklin Graham thinks about it.
I'm assuming Franklin Graham is a creation. But you know what? See, the funny thing is,
you don't know that because Billy Graham made a evolution from really hardcore.
That's true. Billy Graham, I mean, I'm no expert on him, but I do know he was kind of, in some ways, he was kind of a progressive thinker. But, I mean, for that, in terms of operating in that space, yeah. Well, I would be careful about saying evolved. They don't like that.
Ooh.
Yeah, they don't like, you have to avoid terms like evolve or phrases like plan B. Like, you don't want to say, oh, I've got a plan B for that around these kind of people. They get very, they just get very nervous, you know? You gotta be, you gotta be careful, or you don't want to say things like, I was going to go to the store, but something came up. I had to abort the mission. You know, you just want to be very careful how you speak around these people, or they get a little bit freaked out. And of course, you're going to freak out Rick Wiles if you question creationism. Oh, you know what I was going to say, though? So I was raised Catholic, and I even went to a Catholic school from grade 2 to grade 8. But in that school, St. John's Regional up in Concord, and in my home, because my dad, very Catholic, I and my friends, we were always taught that the Old Testament is not meant to be taken literally. So we weren't raised as creationists.
I told you the glosses that were created by the Catholic Church in the 50s under Pius XII.
Yeah. We were taught those are stories. Those are parables.
They're stories, and they're myths that are older than older than the Bible.
But for some reason that changed, though, because today a lot of Catholics, including my father, have shifted, and now they're like, nope, you got to believe everything. This all literally happened, and it's like, why are they going backward? It's strange to me.
I don't think the church has that.
No, well, maybe not in doctrine, but just in general, or it might just be my perception. But my perception is that a lot of Catholics now have gone the other. They're like, nope, you got to take it all literally. That all literally happened.
Is your father willing to accept the truth that God is a woman? A gendered woman, in fact.
How dare you?
With and a big fundament and all of that.
With lady parts?
Oh, and
oh my God. Like Alanis Morissette in Dogma, which is a great film. My favorite Kevin Smith movie. Surely you've seen it. You haven't seen Dogma?
Who's Alanis Morissette, a singer?
Oh, that was after 1991. Yes.
I don't even think I've seen a movie with Cher since 1991.
But she plays God in Dogma, which is a...
Oh, wow.
You haven't seen that? You'd probably really...
Get Virtual John on.
You'd probably really...
some withering comment about that.
Oh, boy, I bet you'd...
So it can spare me. It's not funny. It's nothing.
I disagree. I think Dogma is a very funny film, and I think you would enjoy it.
I've never seen it, Kevin Smith.
I think you'd like Dogma. I really do. It's very, very smart, very clever. No, I really do. I genuinely do.
Yeah, but you won't let me talk about John Wayne.
No, I won't.
He's more important than Kiss.
Who should retire,
I've been planning
go
that
away.
one.
Doc, promise me, if I'm still alive when I'm 89 and I'm still producing newscasts, if I deny the Bible, would you promise to cut the transmission line so that it doesn't go out and just tell me that the show went out?
Well, I'll just let you know. But I'm telling you,
honestly, he's an embarrassment. He is an embarrassment to the body of Christ. It is time for the saints to unite. It is time for the saints to unite.
Stop that, John.
Chase the heretics and the apostates out of the one holy church.
Yes.
Pat,
drive them out.
Apostate. I agree.
Science. Oh my goodness. It's weird though. It's just the dynamic is fascinating to me that it's this 89-year-old guy who actually is getting it right on this one thing. And then you have these guys who are like, I don't know, mid-60s who are going, oh, this old guy, he's crazy. We got to put him out to pasture. And it's like, no, he's the one who's actually being reasonable.
May I quote the
it's so weird.
Reverend Billy Graham?
Yes.
On creation science.
But afterwards, though, I'm going to need to quote superstar Billy Graham to be fair to all the Billy Grahams.
Close to John Wayne, but not. Doesn't get the cigar. Here's Billy Graham. I don't think that there's any conflict at all between science today and the scriptures. I think that we have misinterpreted the scriptures many times. Jesus, let me turn it around. Jesus, buddy. I got that. let me turn it around. Right here. Do we got the Jesus, buddy? Jesus, buddy. If only we can get a quick edit in there. Oh. I don't think there's any... He stopped sending me messages. Oh, I know what's on the TV.
Sorry, what?
What? Heidi keeps sending me messages that come across the book.
Oh.
Now I can't even see.
Oh, no.
I don't.
Well, that's terrible.
That. Listen to somebody. I'm not just saying Lenny Bruce or something. And, Billy Graham. Get a better routine. I don't think there's any conflict at all between science today and the scriptures. I think that we have misinterpreted the scriptures many times, and we've tried to make the scriptures say things they weren't meant to say. I think that we've made a mistake by thinking the Bible is a scientific book. The Bible is not a book of science. The Bible is a book of redemption. And Heidi, I've already got by the part where your messages are distracting me. The Bible is not a book of science. The Bible is a book of redemption, and of course I accept the creation story. I believe that God did create the universe. I believe that God created man. No mention here of women. And whatever it came by an evolutionary... Well, let me do that again. It's just the thing about man. I believe that God created man, and whether it came by an evolutionary process, and at a certain point... He, capital H, took this person or being and made him a living soul or not, does not change the fact that God did create man, which, of course, did man create women? Or, what's the thing about the ribs?
Yeah.
Rib meat. Rib meat. We had a rib meat taco, Don. I think at Bees. I'd like a taco right now.
Rib meat, not taco. That's what Daryl Dion, by the way, he meant well. And thank you, Daryl, if you're listening. He brought me a taco here because I couldn't get it. So he brought me a taco while I was live on the air, and then I was like, okay, cool, I'll eat this later after the show. I'll eat it upstairs. And then he mentioned it was a short rib.
Yeah, short rib.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, I ended up giving it to the People's Mayor, Glenn R.J. Willett.
Why do you like short rib?
Oh, no, I can't.
You should have seen the line at the Mint.
I want just a regular beef taco. I don't want short rib. Ugh. Yuck.
You don't eat short ribs?
No.
What kind of Yeti are you? Did God create Yetis with a capital Y?
I can't believe you would even ask me that.
And at a certain point, he took this person or being and made him a living soul or not. Does not change the fact that God did create man.
What's going on here? It's like the Antichrist.
We have a call.
Whichever way God did it makes no difference as to what man is in man's relationship to God.